always be best friends on wheelchairs, and sitting in front of the stoop and laughing, and that's what we all swore, that we would always be together, and I never for a second doubted it. And I guess life throws curveballs at you. Eventually we all kind of had to grow up, and we all went our separate ways, even though we all kept in contact. Our friend John passed away a few years ago, and he was very special to Jack and to myself. And John loved my brother so much. When my brother disappeared, John was very affected by it, and you could see it in his face. You could see he also, including myself, he also lost a brother and someone that was very dear to him.
And while we know that if John was here, he would absolutely be part of this, but I was able to connect with his sisters, Angela, Rose, and Donna, who talked with me for a bit and shared a little about Jack as well.
We moved to Long Island in 1989, and my parents had a house built in Shirley, and Jack and Jay, their house was only a few houses up the block from us. So they lived on the same block, and my brother, became friends with both of them, and they were inseparable for years. They were like brothers to us, My brother had a group of friends, and the funny thing is that almost all of their names started with a J. They were like the J group. Yeah, it was so funny. But somebody was always staying at our house, eating with us. At least one of them was always at our house. And
they were always together.
We had one real brother, but his friends were our brothers too.
Right, they all were. It was amazing. It was the love that they all had for each other was good.
Now, talking about Jack specifically, how would you describe Jack?
He was goofy. A little goofy.
He was funny.
Like a big teddy bear.
He was so kind, and he would do anything for you. Like, he was such a good person.
And he was a sweetheart. He really was. He was very polite. Like, my parents loved him. They loved him. He was a good guy. He really was.
Like, when I had moved, because I had gotten married, and my brother moved in the same house downstairs. Jack was there, all the guys were there, all the J's, they were there all the time. And Jack, actually, he lived there too. I was pregnant and I was still going to work, and one day I came home and he cleaned like my whole apartment. He cleaned the dishes, he cleaned everything, because we used to share food too. Like, they'd come upstairs and eat, and but he was a good guy. There's not, I would never say anything bad about him. He never did anything bad. He was
he didn't.
Right. I have absolutely nothing bad to say about him at all.
I don't know anybody who has ever had anything bad to say about Jack, ever.
He was truly, truly a good guy. What a heart of gold. Just like his mama.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, they were always together. Always.
I have memories of, like, Jack coming over our house. Like, he'd have dinner with us.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was like he was a part of our family.
Now, closer to the time when he went missing, were you still close around that time?
Not as close. I could say personally, I was working full time because my brother wasn't living at the house anymore. Where I was still at my parents' house and he wasn't. So I did not see them as much. The friends.
He was at where I lived.
Right.
Yeah.
But he was hanging out with some different people. So he was like in and out of the house. And I was pregnant, like I was going to give birth soon. And when I had my daughter, like I didn't even know he was missing until his mom had come over my mother's house and she told us. I had just had my daughter, like maybe the week that he went missing, and then she came over and she told us. So I didn't know because I was staying at my mom's so she could help me because I had a C-section and I wasn't feeling good at all. He still hung out with my brother, but he had a girlfriend, that blonde girl, I don't know who she was, and he was hanging out with like her friends. And he didn't really know them that well, so that was towards the end when he went missing.
Now, when he went missing and you found out when his mother came over to the house to tell you guys, what do you remember about that?
Oh, my heart stopped.
Yeah.
We couldn't believe it.
Don't believe it.
Like,
I always wondered, why would somebody want to hurt him? Like,
I know.
Like, why?
Yeah.
It's always
After that,
why.
That really like destroyed our brother too.
Yes. That was pretty much my
People
brother
go
just
looking
went
for
crazy.
him all the time. They would be everywhere looking for him, looking for clues, looking for something.
Yeah. If they heard something, they'd all get together and they'd go. Like, I remember one time they heard a story that maybe they found some clothing at a beach.
Yes.
And I know they all
went.
You know, they were all together. They were always together. If they heard something, they went and they checked it out or just questioned people. But
we said, why would he leave? He would never just leave. Like, we can never understand why would he just, you know, I always said somebody had to do something to him because I don't believe that he would take off.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did they have any solid leads that they felt could have been
there were rumors, and I don't really know the people's names, but I know.
What is it?
Is it Rob? Somebody
Rob and his brother had a body shop or something. I know that they would go over there and they were looking to see if they were hiding something or whatever, but I think didn't Rob die in jail or something?
So yeah.
He was arrested for some drug charges or something. It was something separate, but then he was never investigated further for Jack.
But those people, like, I heard about them before and they weren't good people. So if he was to be messed up with them, then, you know, I would believe that they would do something because they didn't have a good reputation, you know.
After he went missing, how do you think this stayed with him? How did it? And Jay said, you know, after that happened, he said no one was the same.
I think it actually made my brother a little depressed.
Yes. I think he kind of, you know, he used to say you know, blame himself a little bit. Maybe I could have somehow prevented this from happening. But how could he have? He couldn't have. He didn't. But he just felt like
so he blamed himself.
Yeah,
he felt the little part was because of him. Maybe
yeah. But there was no way he could have stopped this from happening. But yeah, he used to sometimes blame himself. You know, he loved Stella too. Like he thought of her as another mom. Like Mother's Day, you know, whatever holidays, he used to always buy her some flowers, whatever.
Yeah, buy her a plant, always bring it over. He loved Stella.
Yeah. So
we all did.
It's just like, you know, your friend disappears and you never have closure.
Aside from knowing what really happened and maybe bringing some kind of justice to who did this, I don't think anyone could ever get full closure.
Right. It's always going to be on your mind, and you're always going to be thinking of it unless something, you know, is found out and you can get closure.
One time I had a dream about Jack. This was, you know, a little bit after it happened, and he was in a red car and I was outside the car, but then he told me that he was okay. Like, I don't know what that meant, but I just always remember that dream. He was in a red car and just from inside he told me he was okay, but it always sticks with you.
My name is Dolly Cifuentes. Jack Jimenez is my cousin. I was the first of my cousins, and Jack was the second. Like, I was born first, and then he came a year later, so we were very close. We were close. We were all born in Colombia. I was born first, then Jack, then Jay, then my sister, and then the other cousins. There's like a lot of them. But we grew up together. We're like, my mom and his mom were like really close at the beginning, you know, when we were little. So it was the four of us all the time. So it was like, you know, we were always together playing. It was just wonderful because my mom had us all the time and we were just together. We did everything together. I don't remember school. We were just at grandma's house all the time playing and running, and we were in, how do you say, inseparable, the four of us. My aunt Nada, she was the same age, like a year older than me, so she was there too. So it was the four of us plus my aunt Nada. So it was five. The five of us, we were like always together. And one thing that I just came to my mind, that everything got broken when they came to the United States. I think Jack was probably 5 and Jay was 4. I remember we were playing in the living room and his mom called. You know, they called from the United States to Colombia, and she called and talked to them, and Jack was happy and he was excited, and he said, Jay, come to the phone. Jay, we have a new dad. We have a father, because their father died when before his mom came to this country. She had to come here and live in there with grandma. So that phone call, I remember that he was so happy about it. But at the same time, I was happy, but I wasn't that happy because I knew they had to go, both of them. So everything was broken after that. They came here, and it was like years later that we got to see them again. So it was sad because it kind of broke us a little bit. I moved here like years later after he was already lost. After they came here, they went back to Colombia like years later, and that was the best. Like they were like 10 and 12, I think. They were little. They were still little. So it was the best, They was like everything went back to normal for like a month, and it was great. My mom had them with her, and it was just like the old time. After that, I came here when I was 13, and I stayed with my Aunt Stella, his mom, and I lived with them. I lived with them for 2 years, and so it was nice. So it was like we were all teenagers. I was 13, he was 12, Jay was 11, so it was like everything went back to the way it was. We never lost that bond, it was just great. It was the three of us again. We were missing my sister and Nada, but still, at least the three of us were together, and it was great. And that's where we got to do like teenager things, hang out and talk and do stupid things sometimes. But Jack was always the best. He was always protecting Jay, protecting me. He was the cutest thing, and he has a big heart. And then after that, I went back to Colombia. Years went by, I went to college, and we were still talking, like, sometimes through the phone. But one thing that happened that it was weird is that before he got lost, he sent me a letter that he never did that before. He never did that. He wrote me a letter, like, kind of saying goodbye. I was, like, in shock because, like, a week later, he got lost. The mail, years ago, it will take like a month for the letter to get to Colombia from here. So I got that letter, and he said he was fine, but he was in a lot of trouble, so he had to leave. And I was like, what is he talking about? And he would just wrote on there that he loved me very much, and that was it. And then he got lost a week later, so that was a little weird. It was like a way that he was saying bye to me before this happened. So it was hard because I still have that letter, but I don't know where. And it was terrible because that was a way for him to say bye without knowing that this was going to happen. So I never got to see him again. And I wasn't here when he got lost, or I didn't know anything, or I wasn't here. I was ready to start my new job, and I couldn't share my new life with him. My mom always gave him as much love as she could, and she always gave him everything, but their mom was a little different. You cannot hug Stella. She was cold. But she would show you that she loved you in a different way, like, did you eat, or in other ways, not just physical contact or a hug, but she will show her love different.
After Jack went missing, and you kept in touch with the family, I'm sure. How did that affect the family?
Oh, it was devastating. Stella, I think it was hard on Stella, but and Jay got the worst because I understand that they were kind of arguing, and when Jack got lost, he didn't get to say like I'm sorry, but Jay doesn't talk much about it, and it just hurts him. It just hurts. It was just went through the years like that. If you start talking about it, it's just too sad. And Stella could not take it. Years later, when I was already here, my son, I was going to have a C-section, and I knew that my son's date was going to be the 18th, which is Jack's birthday, June 18th. My son is July 18th, so I asked her if I could take Jack's name for my son. But I asked her before if it was okay with her, if I could name him Jack, because I loved him, and then she said it was okay. So now my son's name is Nicholas Jack. I know it doesn't match that well, but every day I miss him so much. He was the best, my Jack. He was my best cousin. I even told Jay, He's my favorite cousin. Your second place. Just so many memories, but I just remember always the smile.